Shit.
Video brought to you by Morante Plumbing and Oil. Morante.
And we are back. G-Mac and Winnie coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
I'm going to try, but I have a feeling these are losing some potency. But let's find out. A little clumpy. Yeah.
They lost all their potency.
They
If you
kinda
took that
did.
kind of huge
Yeah.
sniffs out of
They
there.
kind of did.
Yeah, we need new ones. Whew, not that time.
Not that time?
Whoa.
All right.
Try another one now. I think I loosened up the bottom.
Yeah.
It was like the first two were good. That last one came like from underneath.
It's like when you take that big glob of wasabi
Yeah.
and it just fucking hits in all the wrong places.
Let's address this terrible hairline thing I got going on
Why?
here.
What's up?
Oh, it's just in general. Like, it's been thinning since COVID. Like, if you look when we first started, some of our videos or pictures when we coached and all that was right around COVID.
Oh, if you look at the...
My hair was super thick. It was good.
Dark.
After COVID, after the shot, it got like... So, starting next week, I'm waiting for it to come. We'll have a opportunity for our fans to contribute if they're thinning, because we'll have Spartan shampoos, which is a hair loss for men treatment.
Right.
So we'll have a code. We'll be able to do these awesome things. Maybe if
I think mine is too far gone to even bother to try.
You should try.
I've let it go. I've let it go for like 7 days, and it is just not there.
Put it on your chest. See if you grow hair on your
I
chest.
got hair on my chest.
I don't. I'm like one.
Smooth it out.
Yeah. Let's be honest. This is a big episode for this reason. 1 year, dude.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. But
After it comes out,
this
is
a year.
Yeah.
It's a year. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I don't know. I didn't know how to like go about it. I didn't know what to do for it. So I mean, it's what I know. You say that, but it's a year, bro. It's not like it's a month. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a month. It's not like I didn't. So we'll. I got a little something for you after the show.
All right.
We'll figure it out. What else been going on?
Nothing. Baseball season is in full force now. I'm happy.
When did the Yankees re-sign John Wetland?
Listen, Devin Williams is good. I know yesterday didn't look that great, but
Looked that great.
I only saw the stat line. It was like 2 hits, a walk.
He went full count to every single. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
His pitch count was like 35. He went full count to every batter he faced.
Yeah. He's got a nasty, nasty changeup. Was a 2-time NL reliever of the year. Yeah, but it does seem like anytime
The
Yankees
NL is
land,
not the AL.
anytime the Yankees land guys like this, yeah. Wetland was the same way. He was lights out with, I think it was Texas before that.
He'd walk the bases loaded, then strike out the side.
Right.
In full-blown panic, he'd be.
Right.
It got a lot easier to deal with when you had Rivera out there.
Yeah. Well, listen, Luke Weaver looked good in the 8th.
Yeah.
You may see. I mean, listen, they spent decent money on him, and he has a good track record. Hopefully it stays that way.
Nothing like Wells hitting a home run on the first at-bat of the year.
Yeah, hopefully that's a sign of things to come. It's a shaky rotation if you look at it, but Rodon pitched good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they added some depth. You know what I mean? Like, with losing Soto, they were able to add depth.
Yeah.
Which, why are you yelling at me, bro?
They always say that.
Yeah, but you're like really into it.
It's just when I get excited.
Well, that's good. It's better than you falling asleep half the episodes. So they were able to add another starting pitcher. They were able to add a closer. These are things that matter when the lineup's a little.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing about having T-Mobile as a cell phone company is that 1 week I think it's up through April 1st right now. If you log on to T-Life, the app, you get the MLB the package for the year for nothing.
Oh, I'll have to do that. Show me after the show.
Yeah,
I'll have to
awesome.
log on to mine. Yeah, because why not?
It's $200 if you were going to try to buy it.
Yeah.
Now you
and then what do you just get? You get a code or something?
Yeah, it'll send you to the app. You put in your email address, you create a password, and boom, you're done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Show me after the thing. Sorry, I'll sign it. Anything else going on? Oddly weird week. Warm, cold, rain, snow.
Yeah.
Going to be 77 tomorrow.
Ethan Conrad tearing it up.
Had a minor setback. He dove for a ball. He's out for 10 days or something.
Okay.
He has a micro fracture in his arm from diving for the ball.
Yeah, I looked at his stat line. It's pretty impressive. For the
year. Almost right around 400. A bunch of doubles, bunch of home runs. Yeah. So
steals are down, but it could be where he's hitting in the lineup too.
He's hitting third.
Yeah.
It's crazy because he does have he's fast.
Yeah. I think I saw 5 or 6 steals. Absolutely tore up Marist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went nuts on his old.
I think he hit a walk-off there, too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is cool. So,
yep.
It's doing good. Yankees win open today. Soto struck out to end the game for the Mets.
Yeah, and the Mets fans, in true Met fashion, $800 million boss. Come on, bro.
Well, let's be real. Any major superstar that's gone to the Mets, it has not gone well.
No, they're terrible.
Like Jason Bay was awesome until he ran into the fence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bonds or Bonilla never panned out. Fucking Pedro, he was
Piazza's
okay.
Probably the only one.
Yeah, but he didn't. Well, he came from the Dodgers, right? Marlins.
Marlins, yeah.
And went Dodgers, Marlins.
Yeah, for
Mets,
a week.
Yeah,
the Mets.
Piazza, but even then, they didn't win a World Series.
No, they got to 2 with them.
And they lost to the Yankees.
Yep. And the Royals. But I think Piazza was gone.
He was gone by then. That was like a David Wright 2015.
Yeah, it was.
So anytime major and Beltran was the statue in Game 7 of the NLCS when he was there.
Yep.
So it just never pans out.
Yeah.
And Frank the Tank already fucking destroyed some glasses and I did this right, fucking going nuts. It's opening day.
Yeah.
And then Bill Skell says, nothing like Yankee fans complaining about a win. Yeah, it's because we're Yankee fans. We're used to winning, Bill.
Right.
Unlike you Met fans.
It's early in the fantasy week because I think the way they do it, because it starts so late, that the first week of fantasy will be the end of this week and all of next week. But I'm currently shitting all over Yak.
Oh, yeah.
Like 92-20 or something because Rutschman had a huge day. He had 2 homers, 3 RBIs. Tatis had a day. Mackenzie Gore, the poor bastard. 7 innings, 1 hit, 13 strikeouts, and the Nationals lose it. The Nationals lose it in extra innings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, whatever. You're the stat guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anybody. I know Rushman because you like the kid. Other than that, I don't know a single person you said.
Yeah. I was looking, this goes back, and I'm like, they hype up Soto, and I'm like, is he really that good?
He's a terrible fielder.
Brian Giles.
If
you remember Brian Giles, the Indians, his first 7 years matched up with Soto's, blows Soto out of the water.
Really?
Yes.
So what is it then? Was the dude the kid, when Soto was a young kid, he was clutch in the World Series.
He was 19 when he came up, and he wasn't the heralded prospect at first. He ended up cracking the opening roster, and they went on that magical run that year. And he was clutch.
Man.
But they had the pitch.
I just had the kid's name in my head. Who was the kid that played center field for the Braves and tore the Yankees up in the first World Series?
Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones. How's that kid not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's really close now.
He did 10 years of being a stud, and by the time he was 29, I felt like he was there for 30 years.
And that's the issue. People look at it, by the time he was 35, he was, but he
played for
16 or 17 years then. Come on. And he was a 10-time Gold Glover.
Right.
MVP, bunch of home runs,
Came up huge in a World Series a bunch of times, yeah.
You'll notice the bar for the Hall of Fame is dropping year after year after year now because the longevity isn't there. You're not going to get the 300 game winners. You'll get the 500 home run guys just because it's the era of the long ball. But
I'm surprised Posada doesn't get a bigger nod as a catcher.
He could as a Veterans Committee guy.
Yeah,
like Bernie too.
Yeah,
Bernie had over 2,000 hits. Was a 300 hitter. Had pretty much most of the hitting records for the postseason until he retired.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Yankees from that era go unheralded because the team was so good.
Oh no, I get it. I'm just saying Posada because of as a catcher. It's weird stat lines for catchers. You know what I mean?
I know Pettit had the PED thing, but Pettit wasn't a power pitcher.
No.
So did the PEDs really help him?
His fastball is like 93 tops, right?
Right, and he admittedly used it. He used them coming back from shoulder surgery to rehab.
I used them a year ago when I destroyed my arm.
All right. Does that mean you're like spending on the podcast for a year?
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah. Do you have any friends that are like a fucking jinx to their team?
I just feel like being a Jet fan in general, we are all jinxes to our team.
Because Autumn is like the Yankee jinx. I tell her she's the fucking jinx of the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
and they went down to opening day, and the second that dude like gave up a hit, walked somebody, ball in the gap, I'm like, you fucking jinx. And then they win, and she's like, nope, it's not me. I go, nope. Preston was there to save he's counteracting your jinx.
Right.
Because when they went to spring training, like 2, she's like, no, we won 2. I go, it's opening day. Spring training doesn't count. Right. And they almost blew that one. He counteracted that one too. I'm like, funny. You're the fucking jinx. And when she met my nephew Troy all the way out in Montana, he's like, I hear you're the Yankee curse. The jinx. Yeah, there's people that, like there's certain friends. We've all have them. There's friends, and no matter when I think Stracuzzi's a curse. No matter when he goes to a Giants game, they never win.
They get smoked.
Yeah.
He had, I think, he was definitely there for the Deshaun Jackson
punt return,
game-ending punt return. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think every time he's gone overseas, they've gotten blown out.
I've had good luck as a Jet fan being in attendance for Jet games.
You got weird luck, dude. A-Rod hit the walk-off when you and I were there.
Yeah, I've had good Yankee luck.
Cohen's perfect game.
Yep.
I mean...
Yeah, I've seen some pretty big moments.
Yeah.
Game 4 of the ALDS to 1 year with JoJo and Kent.
Yep.
And they won that one. And Kent was wanting us to leave the 7th inning. We're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's just wild. Like, it started going through my head like, man, who else is a jinx to their team?
Yep.
They're like, or like wives walk in a room, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Don't you cross that threshold.
Oh, Costello says Anne was like not allowed in the room
when the lines are on.
Yeah, because every time
she clearly was there during the playoffs.
Yeah, she was. She was. And he cursed her out for it.
Yeah.
So,
what made you think of this week's top 5?
What did make me think of this week's top 5? I think the weather getting nice kind of got into the nostalgic.
Going reminiscent?
Yeah, a little bit.
Doing a little reminiscing?
Yep.
This week's top 5. Top 5 games or activities from your childhood.
Yeah, I got a little bit of everything. Outdoor activities we did probably from age 5 all the way till Cape Cod.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Started off. So number 5 activity, I can remember playing with my elder aunts and uncles, my grandparents, Go Fish and War.
Oh, yeah, card games from when you were a kid? Yeah. Our big card game was probably 500 Rummy or Uno.
Uno was fun. Monopoly was never fun because
it took forever.
Even then, somebody's flipping the fucking board 3 hours into it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what's your number 5?
My number 5, riding bikes.
Okay.
Just as simply...
I should have put that on there.
Just riding bikes. That's when we were kids, that was like how you found adventure. That was... You almost looked like a bike gang in the 80s. There was 100 bikes in the yard. But you grew up in a neighborhood. I did too.
Absolutely.
So there was times you'd get on your bike, you probably went around the corner, saw Busey and Matt Hunter, and then next thing you went around to the next block, you found 10 more people.
Yeah, if I went down the one way, it'd be like Matt Alone and Billy Osh and Ferg.
Yeah.
The other way was Matt and Busey. If I went way the hell over, it was like Risley and Clark.
Right, and that was it. Mount Marion, same thing. It was just riding bikes. There, you'd find a jump to hit.
Who had the nicest bike?
We were all broke kids, bro. Probably Joey Albright. He went on to be a pro bicycle racer.
Yeah. In my neighborhood, it was either Jimmy Stashio had a Hutch.
Yep.
Ferg had a Mongoose before they were Walmart Mongooses.
Yeah.
And was it Brandon had a Red Line? Maybe? Risley?
Yeah.
Those like the three big.
Yeah,
big
we all
ones.
had Huffies.
But Jimmy's was the nicest. The Hutch was sweet.
The old Hutch trick stuff.
Yeah, he had the pegs and
so
it was tripped out.
Yep.
Number 4, Nerf basketball.
Man,
Me and my father had wars.
That did not make my list, and it should have.
I had two. We had 2 hoops. We had one set up in my bedroom,
and the ones that would go on the back of the door, right?
Right, with a little foam ball.
Yep.
And then at my grandparents' house, in their bedroom, I had one because as a kid, I used to go up in their room and watch TV, and they had such a big bedroom. It was half the house, literally, of half of the upstairs. So the playing area up there was great. 3-pointers were 3-pointers. It was, but my father's usually evolved into wrestling and Nerf basketball at the same time.
Oh, of course.
Beating the hell out of each other.
Yep.
And
So you remember my room at my parents' house. When you came in that door opened like this to a closet door.
Right. So
on the closet door, I put the hoop. And then it, with the trim, the backboard was basically right, I only needed the hoop part. The backboard was the wall right there.
Yeah, yep.
Right? So I put taped it off. And then with my door open, if you came and dunked, like if you and I were playing, I dunked on you, or you dunked on me, and you hit that door, it was okay because my actual bedroom door was like the buffer.
Right.
So you weren't like hitting the...
I never, ever
I didn't put a hole in the door. It just lined up right.
I never used the cardboard backboard because we always had... In my bedroom, the wall was above that, so that was a little bank shots off of that and stuff.
Yeah.
Never needed the cardboard, but
yeah, and they were and I like the ones that had like the they weren't like foam on the outside.
See, that's the ones I liked the best. Was the true foam one in my room because it was a small room. But the ones that had like
they had one that was like sewn on around it.
Yeah, that was a nicer one for like the bigger areas. Yeah, that was cool. What's your 4?
My number 4, sleigh riding.
Okay.
We were, when you're a kid, I look at mine, everything's outdoors. And that's all about being a kid. Everything is outdoors. Shitty weather, everybody's school's out. Everybody's dragging sleds to Snyder's Hill, the Pines, and Mount Marion spots. And you'd be down there and you would just cut paths and hang out. And it was just outdoors. Every kid in Mount Marion was all about being outdoors, hanging out. Hitting jumps, you'd build a jump, you know what I mean? See what you could do with it. Just sleigh riding in general. I mean, some people call it sledding. We called it sleigh riding, but
the heights we really didn't have.
You didn't have the hills, right?
Right. There was, Killer Hill would have been a death sentence to sleigh ride down because that shit was like straight down. Yeah. And then if you went off like the back end, like Kalina Drive, there was kind of a trail over there too. But again, you veer off a little bit, you were getting smoked by some trees. So it really wasn't a good sleigh ride.
Right.
We would go to Sliders.
In the village.
Yeah.
The only shit part about that is you go down, it takes you 20 minutes to walk back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but outdoors, being outdoors as a kid, sleigh riding was my number 4. Number 3.
Number 3, Mad 92 for the Sega Genesis.
The original? Or was that 91?
89 was the original.
When the ambulance would come on and run people over?
Yes. 92 was the first year that they kept in-game stats. But I had a notebook, and after every carry, I'm writing Johnny Johnson, 5 yards.
Yeah.
And I had the whole season's worth of stats for the Jets that year.
That's why I think, like, our generation stats
and my dad
keepers,
played it.
Do you know what I mean? Stats keepers, because we had to keep our own stats.
Right.
When I had like the WWE wrestlers, LJN, WWF wrestlers, I used to make cards like the British Bulldogs versus somebody for the championship, and I'd have the stats by by pinfall, by disqualification, the whole, and they all had their own music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't. We didn't have official music, so it was whatever.
That's like when Chris was.
I'd have my keyboard over playing for.
When Chris was little, when the Titantron figures first came out and had the little thing in the foot, and we would run them over the sensor, and it would play their song. That was huge, even for me. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! They actually have entrance music now."
Yeah,
but yeah, your 3.
My number 3, hide and seek.
Hide and seek
in a big manhunt, whatever people call it, but
yeah.
In big developments, people would, you'd figure it out. Like we've done it with BB guns.
Oh God!
And played basically war.
Yeah.
With BB guns down in the pines, we've done it just where it was people's houses were the best because they had shit in their yard to hide.
Right.
But it was always about collecting a group of people and playing the games.
You had back to your bike riding. You had some good bike riding stories too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Ghost riding somebody off.
That's it. Hey, off the jump.
Yep.
Number 2.
Number 2 for you.
Pool basketball. My grandfather.
Legendary of that time frame.
Yeah, my grandfather.
Did you have the stationary hoop or the one that floated around?
No, my grandfather being.
Oh, I didn't remember this.
The man that he was, built. He got a railroad tie, and he had this big support system that he cemented into the ground with 2 giant bolts that you could slide out to lower the hoop to change the net, and it literally hung over into the pool. It had a big support system. You could dunk on it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Many a game.
I had the floaty one. I didn't have that whole
We
system.
had the floaty one, but we ended up busting them all the time.
Yeah. And it literally was just like pool noodles with a cheap hoop, but they were always fun to play.
Yeah.
But I imagine you'd have wars in there with all your friends.
Oh my God, it was wild. And around the world of the pool was perfect because you went from each little
top of the cap of the pool.
Yeah, you went all the way around.
Yeah.
That shit took forever too. You get halfway across and then halfway back and then you miss.
Chance.
Yeah.
You take your chance.
You
gotta go back.
You blow it.
Yeah. Because you just went off the front of the rim. You go, I got this. Clang. Fuck.
Or horse was funny because you do different dives into the pool to try to make the shot. But didn't realize at the time how much playing basketball in the pool kept you and got you in shape. Because trying to jump out of the water to dunk was like
the amount of force. Yeah. Right, the amount of force you needed to get out. Many days in a pool that were a lot of fun.
Your 2.
My number 2, campouts.
Okay.
We had the woods by my house.
You did.
That everybody, it would be, hey, we're all sleeping at Highlands. And then Highland was sleeping at my house. And then the girls were sleeping over here. And then we would all sneak up out of our tents out of the woods over to, the Weber's house where all the girls were sleeping over. So it was always something. Like we'd always, but you look forward to those every summer. It was like a rite of passage. We're going to go down in the woods. And we never burned the woods down.
Right.
We weren't drinking beer. We weren't like, you know what I mean? Like, not, when you got older and you had beer parties, senior years, junior year, whatever, that was different. I'm talking about like when you were a young kid, 12, 13, 14, 15, you're in the woods, you're putting your tents out, you fucking slept like shit. You know what I mean? But you were out there, just you in the woods, free.
I remember it wasn't necessarily camp out, but it was the campsite off Clean Drive in the woods. And we were down there, and guys are drinking at this point. We were I think juniors or seniors in high school, but we needed firewood because the fire was starting to go out. I remember Tom Morrow climbing to the top of what was essentially a sapling and just riding it down to the ground until it snapped.
Did he put his hemp rope on there and just...
He could just burn the hemp rope.
Yeah.
So, number 1, I'm wondering if it's yours too. Mine's wiffle ball.
Mine, it encompasses that. Mine's sports.
Yeah.
Wiffle ball we played that in Cape Cod.
Right.
Wiffle ball that was the original social media.
Yeah.
Wiffle ball. That was there's more activity in wiffle ball than there is on social media. From
imitating stances and imitating pitching windups to keeping stats to each field was different.
Yeah. If you hit it in the pool here, it's an out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Matt Hunter's house was my favorite because we had the green monster.
Yeah.
The giant trees you had to hit it over for a home run. My grandfather's we had the super narrow yard. So if you went, like, if it was a pull shot it would be a pulled shot for a righty, was on Edith, that was an out. If I pulled it into the driveway as a lefty, that was an out. The home run was Simmons Drive.
Yeah.
You got cars going by. It was tough.
Yeah.
But right on down to the very first activity we would do in Wildwood when we got there on a Thursday. Check in the hotel.
Football on the beach.
Everybody got changed, and down to the beach we went.
Yeah.
And there, I don't know if you guys played the same way. If you hit a ground ball and you got to it before it stopped moving, it was an out.
Yeah.
But in the sand, spinning was it. Like you had to get it before it stopped spinning, or else it was base hit.
Yeah. I put sports. I mean, wiffle ball, of course. Like my parents' shed roof was a home run.
Okay.
But that was oppo for a righty, lefty, and you were really kind of narrow. You know what I mean? Everything. This is an out, and every yard's an out, and I had a pool. So if you didn't go over the pool up on the roof, and the other way, you had to be very specifically hit it on the deck of the pool.
Yeah.
But there was trees, so that was hard. You
spent more time running over Spallino's house to get the home runs.
Yeah.
Because that was the hedges went over into his yard.
I put sports because in Mount Marion it was you played football until it snowed.
Yeah.
Then we'd shovel off the ice or shovel off the basketball court and play basketball until it got warm.
Right.
And then we would play home run derby.
Yeah.
So it was every season we were playing. We were outside playing sports.
We had football at the cemetery.
We played with tackle football into the snowbanks.
Yeah.
Shit like that. But we never not played a sport. It was always something going on.
No, it's true. I had the best whoop in my driveway. We had we played tackle football down at the cemetery, not amongst the tombstones, the vacant field next to it.
Yeah.
And or Nerf ball in the street, Nerf football.
Yep.
That car's the touchdown. That car's the other end zone.
Well, we were very fortunate between Ramage's house and Mark Langen's house. It was telephone pole.
Yep.
So we'd play 2-on-2, me and James versus Ramage and Mark or whatever, and all the time. So we would just telephone pole. Worked out perfect. The end of Mark's driveway was one telephone pole. The end of Brian's yard on the other side was another telephone pole.
How many fights or arguments came out of that?
1 million.
Yeah.
1 million.
Yeah.
All of them.
I think 2 fist fights I've ever been in were off of football. One in Greg Papa's backyard, and then one on Mountain View with Hunter.
Yeah, of course.
So
but that's what you did as kids. You fought over every dumb little thing.
Yeah, and 10 minutes later you're fine again.
Yeah.
So
all right, no, it was fun to reminisce.
Good time.
What did you do in your youth, that activity or game?
I just saw Kevin Williams too. Was when I was at Quick Check. Going to record? Yes, I'm on the way now. George is already there.
Yeah, it would have been nice if you brought water. But
Did you drink? Oh, they weren't.
Yeah, no. Five crazy questions this week via Winsky.
Yes, sir. Number 1. If you had to wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what do you wear?
Jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always a jeans and t-shirt guy, pretty much. What else? What do you want me to say? Tuxedo? I mean,
I don't know. Shorts and a hoodie, I guess, for me.
I know where the shorts and the hoodie guy works now. I meant to say this last week.
What?
We're getting on the plane to go to Texas, and we're like kind of backed up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we don't have any more overhead bin storage. You got to check your bags. And the dude, it's like fucking 20 degrees out, and there's a dude with shorts and a hoodie. I said, I always wonder where that kid from high school in shorts and a hoodie worked. It was the dude grabbing the bags, throwing them on the plane.
Great. Jason Hackett.
Yeah. Jeans and a t-shirt.
All right. Number 2, if you could erase one event from history, but it meant erasing a significant part of human progress, would you do it?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you have in mind?
I think if you erase 9/11, shortly after 9/11, human progress, I mean, did we progress? The only thing that progressed is these things from that point on.
Yeah.
Social media, news 24/7, that's the type of shit that progressed. I think that moment in time made humanity a lot worse.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
If you froze it there, where like the internet was just like kind of like, you know what I mean, and people were still going outside, and nobody cared about all this crazy. I think it was a lot better.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that. Number 3, if you were given the ability to instantly become an expert in any one thing, what would it be?
Financial markets.
The guru.
Yeah, if you just know you just knew how to read them things the right way, be a genius, and make your life a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What do you, I mean, you've got a little bit going with like Bitcoin and some little investments here.
Yeah, and I backed out of a lot of that stuff because it peaked and then it started dropping quick.
Yeah.
So I think to do that stuff, you got to be more of a day trader where like you're watching it. Okay, I made my $100 out, reinvest.
Yeah.
You know, so you're constantly pulling off.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. I pulled off positive gains on all of it, but I pulled out of almost everything but like 3.
Okay. But having that innate ability to forecast.
Oh yeah.
Would be
like the .coms.
Right.
Remember, if you could pick the right Sopranos.com, who would have thought that? You know, or whatever of that time frame.
Yeah.
WWE.com, you know, like you could have really made a decent living, decent future.
Just selling off your .coms. Yeah, it's true. Definitely. Number 4. This is the Andre the Giant question of the week. Yes. Would you rather be able to never brush your teeth again, but always have breath that smells minty, or brush your teeth all the time, but have your breath smell like a dumpster?
The first one.
Yeah.
Never brush your teeth again, but it always smells minty.
Yeah.
Chew gum. You can do different things to make your teeth look decent, you know, without.
Not looking like straight butter.
Oh, yeah. They are awful, dude.
They are not good.
I said that, and I think you never paid attention to it. And then I sent you that picture, and you were like, "Oh God!"
And now now I've caught like reels about Andre's teeth, like when he finally went to they got him to go to the dentist, like basically taking a Dremel to grind that shit off.
It looked like your fucking sweater, bro.
It wasn't good.
Teeth looked like.
And number 5, would you rather this one sucks? Would you rather always have something in your eye or always have something stuck in your throat?
Well, I think I probably have the feeling of the throat thing since I got hit with that rock. I'm always feeling
it anyway.
Yeah, I'm doing it all the time anyway.
Right.
So it's not
having that something in your eye, like when you get an eyelash in there.
Oh yeah, it's hours,
and it's the worst. It waters and it hurts. And,
yeah, it's hours.
But doing that,
I do it all the time.
I guess that would probably become second nature at some point, I would think.
Well, you know how in the beginning you get something, it's an irritant?
Yeah.
I've had it for 20 years now, 25 years now.
So it doesn't even...
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I mean, there's times that like it really bothers me.
Right.
But yeah.
But
your eye?
Dude,
I rub my eye all the time.
Does it get excessively worse if you have a cold?
Believe it or not, no. Certain things agitate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's times I've been in here, and I know I'm allergic to cats, and I know you have cats. Not that I can ever smell it on you, but it must aggravate it because if you're in here and I'm doing a podcast, I'll go all the time.
Right.
If I'm in here and I do like when we used to do the football podcast,
right?
I never did that once.
Wouldn't bother you at all.
Wouldn't bother me at all.
That's funny.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It is what it is.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. That's a 5 crazy.
All right. Moving along. What do you want to do?
My favorite song.
Over and under. Is it overrated? Is it underrated?
One of these is really funny based on something you sent me this week.
Okay.
But number 1, butterscotch as a flavor.
Underrated.
Love it.
Oh, butterscotch.
Don't have it enough.
Sundays.
Butterscotch
delicious.
pudding.
Yeah.
Werther's.
Yes. 100%.
But it's one of those things that you don't realize how good it is till you haven't had it for a while.
Right. Even butterscotch candies, they remind you of like being at your grandma's house.
Absolutely. The yellow candy with the yellow wrapper.
Yep.
Number 2, balsamic vinegar.
Underrated. You ever have it on strawberries?
Yes. It's very good.
Very good.
You would not think.
It's the first time I ever had it. I had it on strawberries.
Yeah, I've had it on a salad where the salads had sliced strawberries.
Yeah. And I'm not talking balsamic vinaigrette. I'm talking about balsamic
straight
vinegar.
balsamic vinegar.
Yes. Yep. Very
Absolutely.
good.
Number 3, and this I've gone here like 3 times now in the last week, and after not going there for years, Smoothie King.
Overrated. They're just expensive.
That's the issue.
Smoothies are good, but overrated just because it's like $9. It's like the cost of a meal.
Right. I went specifically because I wanted something healthier that I could have the immune boost added to it.
Yeah.
Because I was just feeling shitty. And it was really good, but yeah, each time I went was like 10 and change for a smoothie.
Correct. That's the only reason it's overrated. The price.
Yeah. Number 4, this is the one. Things seen at a racetrack.
Oh, underrated.
The dude you sent me in the poses.
That is the fucking Accord royalty right there.
The poses he's in with his leg up on the Captain Morgan with his ass crack hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underrated, the things you see at a racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Listen, even
from smoke shows to weirdos, everything in between.
Even rubber shavings all over the side of a trailer.
Yeah.
To the world's best chicken sandwich.
To an entire onion falling out of it.
Yes. Number 5, audiobooks.
Underrated, especially for travel. The only thing that gets me about audiobooks is if you start one reading it with yourself.
Right.
And then you start listening to it, like if they make the voice different than what you're picturing in your head.
Right. The narration does make a difference.
Yeah. I got to ask you this because this came up. When you read a book, do you read the parts in different? Do you read like just say Harry Potter because it's the easiest because it has multiple characters.
Okay.
Does each character have their own voice in your head?
Absolutely.
And you read it in that voice?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are like, no, I just read it. I'm like, there's no way because they describe the person like he's a tall Scottish man. So you're thinking like a Scottish accent. Right.
More so,
he had a high-pitched, squealy voice, so you think it would be that.
In like the Star Wars world, there are so many offshoots and there's so many different book series. When I first started where we work and I was on the overnights, I was going through one every 3 or 4 days. But yeah, if it was Darth Vader, I'm in my mind's eye.
James Earl Jones.
Absolutely. 100%. It has to be.
It has to be.
I can't see
who just reads it like, every voice is the exact same.
Even reading a biography, I'm reading it in that person's voice.
Derek Jeter, Pete Rose, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bonus, number 6, backup cameras.
Underrated, but they're overrated because people don't have
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people don't know how to back up without them now.
Right.
Where, you know what I mean? Like, they're overrated for that because gone is the art of learning how to back up without it.
Parallel park.
Yeah. But underrated because, like, my car, if I'm backing out and there's a car next to me and I can't see past it, it'll tell me if there's a car coming that I can't see.
Right.
It'll beep, hey, there's a car coming. So underrated.
Okay.
I'd say underrated for that.
And there's over-under.
Nice. You got any other...
I'm trying to think if there was any rabbit holes this week. I guess with Mania season coming up, I think a lot of the wrestling YouTubers have ramped up their output. So I was just watching or listening to one on the way here. Guy binge watched every WrestleMania in order from beginning to end. And it had to have been days worth of Manias at this point.
Week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
He said, you don't realize how bad WrestleMania 1 was until you rewatch it at this point. But it had to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the card was terrible.
Oh, my God. I just
Tito Santana versus the Executioner was a match.
100%. Bundy splashed that guy in 9 seconds.
Right. SD Jones, I think it was. Jake Roberts and George Wells. Like
that was the second. I think that was
the second one. Yeah.
I just read something that Howard Finkel came up with the name WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That Vince McMahon wanted to call it the Colossus something. It was something terrible.
Always had some weird thing.
Some weird fucking. But WrestleMania.
That was another thing that the guy brought up was like 1 year, Vince McMahon was fixated on the word stupendous. And everything about WrestleMania that year had to be stupendous. Just the weirdest shit.
Yeah. But Mania, think about what just the word mania, Hulkamania.
Right.
He wasn't Hulkamania back then. He was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then WrestleMania became Hulkamania. Everything became Mania. I hope like Fink got like points on everything that had Mania attached to it.
Yeah.
Since he came up with the name.
Yeah.
You know? What was your favorite WrestleMania?
Oh boy. I guess looking back as a kid now, probably 6. Which was
Hogan and Warrior.
Yeah.
5 was probably my favorite.
The was that the title tournament?
No, that was 4. 5 was Mega Powers Explode.
Okay.
But Rick Rude beat Warrior for the IC strap.
Yeah, they've said for years Warrior's best match. Because
yeah.
he was a shitty worker, but Rude got a really good match out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a new segment for
17 would be my modern day.
Hogan Rock?
Yeah.
Was that 17 or 18?
Or 8. Or maybe it was 18.
18.
Yeah, that would be my modern day.
When the NWO came back and
yeah, but that
Stone Cold got like Scott Hall.
Right.
And then who got Nash?
Nobody. He was still rehabbing an injury.
And Hogan Rock.
Yeah.
And that was meant to be Rock was meant to be the face.
Right.
And he turned into the heel quick.
Yeah, Toronto totally flipped the script on that.
Yeah. I do have a new segment. We can run through it a little bit here, but
okay.
I'm trying to work out new things towards our hopefully summer tour that we go on. And I think we could use this to be in I think we could do this like us versus the streets kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's called the Jingle Challenge. I don't have a song for it. Probably not. Let me see if I got any songs here. All right, Jingle Challenge. You don't need to hear them. You're gonna just answer.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'll start you with an easy one. The best part of waking up
is Folgers in your cup.
Okay. Right. So there you see it, right?
Okay.
All right. You got the blank baby. Pepsi. Pepsi says you got the blank baby. You remember Ray Charles would say this?
I remember the commercial. I can picture Ray Charles. Got the.
None of that came over your microphone for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got the right one.
Oh, it was the right one. Okay.
Right. So these are Juicy Fruit is gonna
move you.
Yeah. See, you're the only one that got that one. Raise your hand if you're
sure.
Correct. See, so I think we could parlay this in.
Yeah.
Like, for you have to get 5 right or something.
Nobody, you got to be 80s kid to get the Juicy Fruit.
Yeah. One. GE proudly states, "We bring blank to life." Come on, Winnie.
GE, we bring blank to life.
You got to think of it like sing it. We bring to life.
Yeah, no.
Good things.
Okay.
Chevy has long proclaimed that their trucks are like a
rock.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about the Heartbeat of America.
If you smell
what the rock is cooking.
Correct.
Yeah.
People tried telling me yesterday was, do you smell?
No.
Who says only you could prevent forest fires?
Smokey the Bear.
Right. That's how this whole thing started.
Where did this? What's the genesis?
I said it to Sean. I was like, "Hey, only you can prevent forest fires." Who said that? And she's like, "I have no idea."
That's funny.
And then it turned into, "Isn't it? Do you smell with the rock?" I go, "If you smell," she goes, "With the." I go, "You know the rock, but you don't know Smokey the Bear."
Yeah.
So then these things started spinning,
and it's true though. It's if 80s. There's a guy on TikTok, and I got down that rabbit hole on his thing that just does 80s jingles.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, here it is. Right. So see, we could parlay this into a segment, a song, whatever. So, but that's my idea for a future segment. But this is, I think I'm getting very close to what it's going to look like when we take the stage.
There was I think it's a teacher that does it, goes around their school, and it's always a music thing. And the one was Master P made him say what?
Yeah.
And if you weren't, I don't know, hip to music in 1996, you had no idea what Master P said.
I've seen that teacher.
Yeah.
He does it to his, and they're like, "What is this? I don't know."
Right.
It's the same thing. There's a guy on TikTok that walks around and says it to all the people at the car dealership.
Yes.
Very smart.
Yeah.
People probably go there just for that reason.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so I think I'm getting close, dude. I think I'm dialing in a lot of things right now. We're getting close. We're getting close.
Definitely good.
All right, man. I just want to close out the show before you close it out and just tell you it's been a year. I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
I hope it becomes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years.
Yeah.
Next year, we're going to, now that year is done.
Yep.
This year is done. Next year, we're going to drop some weight.
Yeah.
That's what's next.
That could be.
That'll make your knees feel better. Like, listen, your mind's better now. Now it's time to get
It's a work in progress. But
it's time to get the body better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I can't say anything. I gained like fucking 13 pounds from Texas to today.
Yeah, that's a little barbecue.
So I'm trying to work my way back. And I noticed it in my face, dude. I caught one of our old ones right before I went to Italy, and my face was so much thinner. I'm like, oh God.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing with going with Texas and barbecue is the use of salt.
Salt, biscuits, all that shit.
Which all is just going to make you retain
super carbs.
Fluid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I'm trying to get rid of all the shit out of my house that I'm eating like junk right now and get it dialed back in. Get
it gone.
Yeah. Yep.
It is getting easier. Carl and I were talking about it the other day. It's easier now because of the time of year to find good fresh produce again, to find good seafood again. It's just the summer. Yeah, I think people will start thinking more about, fuck, I got to start wearing less clothing. How's it going to look? And you start dialing it back in. So yeah, you're not stuck in the house nearly as much. It does make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does make it a lot better. We'll get there. But hey, this year, you did something good. I'm extremely proud of you. It's something to be proud of yourself and celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, buddy?
All right.
Take us home.
All right, for GMAC, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz Podcast.